The exercises I'm going to go through, I'm going to group them. So I'm going to show you leg exercises that you would do on one day. And then back and bicep, which is what is called your pull exercises, because generally when you do them, you're pulling. And then chest, shoulder, and triceps, which is called your push exercises, because you're generally pushing when you do them. And they're combined that way, because generally when you do a back exercise, you're using your bicep. Or if you're doing a shoulder exercise, you're using triceps, same as with chest. So that's why they combine them. So I'm going to run through this really quick. Two things that I want to bring out to you before you do this is there's a big difference in just doing the exercise and doing it right. So you will find if you do a back exercise, you need to be feeling it in your back. If you're doing a bicep exercise, you need to be feeling it in your biceps. So you need to be feeling it in the areas that you do it, because you're going to be spinning your wheels if you're doing exercises and you're not doing right. So if anything, pay attention to the form. And the other thing is always drink your water. Drink as much water as you can. Ideally a gallon comes out to about 264 ounces, I think. So drink as much water as you can. So the first exercise that I'm going to go through, again, I don't have dumbbells, so I'm going to do it with water bottles. And this is one of those things where you may not have dumbbells at home, so make use of what you have. Canned food. These are 1.5 pounds, but hey, that's a start. So just ad-lib however you can. But dumbbells are going to be your easiest. I generally will start out with 10 or 15 pounds. That's me. I think if it's an intro, you should do maybe 5 pounds. And if it's too heavy, you go down. There's no wrong or right. So we're going to start with the leg exercises. Some of the simple stuff that you can do is you do lunges. So form is also important on that. So when you're doing your lunges, you don't want to extend your knee past your feet. So you're going to hurt yourself. So when you're doing lunges, you can do them in a row. You do it like this. And you come down as far as you can. Some people can't go that far. Go as far as you can. You can do it in a row. You can also stand in a spot and do your lunges this way. Keep your hands down. It really doesn't matter. So that's one way you can do lunges. Again, go as heavy as you possibly can. If you don't have weights or problems, then you just do it without weights. You get the same effect. Body resistance is just as good as anything else. The other thing is squats. Squats are done the same way. You've got to be cognizant of your form when you're doing those. If you want good, like nice quads when you're doing it, don't stand so far wide, but you can stand wide. But I would bring them in closer, hands to the side, squat. And the main thing is you need to stick your butt out. It's all about the butt. So as you're squatting, stick your butt out, nice and tight, and you're upright. Do that every time. Be careful of your form. You don't want to be doing squats like this. So that's, form again is going to be really important with that. The other basic exercise, leg exercise, is going to be your stiff leg deadlifts. Same thing, it's all about butt and form. So stand with your weights or your dumbbells like this, bend down. And the point here is when you're bending, you're up forward, and you're going to feel it here in the backs of your leg, which are called your hamstrings. So you don't have to go all the way down. You can, but the point of this is go until you start feeling the stretch, because that's when you know it's working. Stick your butt out. There's different variations, but your butt's going to want to go out so you can get that hamstring pull. So that's the three basic ones on the legs. You can get a lot out of that. On this sheet, I reference bodybuilding.com, and the reason I reference is that they have a directory called /exercises where you can put in the exercises you want to do based on body part and what weights you have. So they've got tons of exercises if you have no weights or if you have dumbbells or whatever it is. So it's good. It's got videos, and it divides things to male and female just so you can kind of, it helps to get a visual if you're, a girl, you want to look at a girl. The next we're going to talk about are your back and bicep exercises. Another one to do is the bent over dumbbell row. You can also do this with a bar. So the point again is your posture or your form. So here you want to look forward, shoulders back. And the best way to get a good back exercise is you start pinching. So you may not be able to, let me turn this way and see if you can see. But when you're bent over, the best way to do this is to kind of shrug your shoulder to where you get a little bit of a pinch and then up. And you always want to feel the pinch in your back when you're doing any back exercise. You can do this with a bar, you can do it with dumbbells. But the point being, having a good pinch in the back. Bicep curl, same thing, shoulders back, chest out. Those are two things you always want to remember when you're doing weightlifting, is your chest is always out and your shoulders are back. And when you start doing the bicep curl, again, flex the bicep, whatever weight you're using. Come all the way down, because you want to get that nice pull, and then back up. And then there's one called hammer, where you turn it this way. Again, still works the bicep, just a different angle of the bicep. So you want to keep doing that. Focus on shoulders back and flexing of the bicep. And we just went over hammer. So that's it on the back and bicep. Again, these were just some that I wanted to pick out to go over that were with dumbbells. The next one, we're going to move to chest and shoulders. So chest is the typical bench press. You see guys do it all the time. You always hear, what do you bench press? Okay, well, that's kind of stupid. But no one really asks that. It's the stupidest question I've ever heard. So I just make up 300. No one even knows. So I tell you, if I'm telling you do 300 pounds, no one will know the difference. So bench press, same thing. You can do this on an ottoman. I have a long, flat ottoman, or you can do a flat bench. Dumbbells, bar, whatever you want. Start here, and you come down. And you want it to kind of meet your chest because you want to feel it pull here. You can extend the bench a little bit. It doesn't matter. It depends on how flexible you are. And when you're doing this, your chest needs to be out. Everything is about chest. So you're not going to be laying flat on a bench. You're actually going to be a little slightly angled because your chest is going to be out. And you focus on using your chest to do the push-ups. It's basically a push-up line on the bench. There's different variations of this. You can do it flat. You can do it at an angle, on an angled bench. Still a bench press, but it works different, again, different angles of the chest depending on how you're set up. So that's, that can be done anyway. The next exercises I'm going to show you are shoulders, which are my favorite because those seem to be the most fun. This one's called an Arnold press. This one can be difficult just because you don't need a lot of weight. People think you have to do a lot of weight, so I would start light, 5 pounds maybe. But you can do it seated, you can do it standing, but you start in this position with your dumbbells and you want to go up and then down. Works your bicep and your shoulders. It's a shoulder exercise, but it works your bicep because you're still kind of flexing that bicep as you come up. So it's kind of a fun exercise. Another variation is just the plain shoulder press, which is strictly here and down. You flex the back and the shoulders, chest out each time you do that. So those are two basic shoulder exercises that you can do. Another one, it's kind of fun, is called front raises. Again, do it standing, seated. You can do it at an angle. Standing is just typical like this. It's just front raises. You want your chest out and shoulders back. A variation of this is called slide laterals, which is to the side. So you can combine them. You could just sit here and do this. It's still going to work your shoulders. You don't need a heavy weight with this either. On the front raises, if you do it on an incline bench, it's going to be difficult, so you're not going to want to do that either. And then how you do it is you have your weights close to here. You don't land them. And if you're at the angle on the bench, shoulders back, chest out, raise, and you don't have to raise very high. So that's front raises and side laterals that both work the shoulders. The next thing I'm going to do are triceps. These are called kickbacks, and I just call them skiers. But basically, you're in a ski position. You want to butt out, shoulders back, and then you're just kicking your arms back. You don't want to do, a lot of people have a habit, I see people do this at the gym. It's not working your triceps. Your arms need to stay in position, kick your arms back, and you tighten the tricep muscle as you kick back. Same thing. I think that's all I have, guys, as far as some of the basics. I just did a quick run through. To answer a couple of questions this morning that I got were, how many reps do you do? It's all going to be varied on your level of how you can do it. I say average 15 reps is kind of the standard of every exercise. If you find that you want to go heavier weight, go 10 reps. Or if you feel like you want to do 15, but you can only get to 10 with a certain weight, then when you get to 10, you put down that weight and grab something a little lighter, do the other 5. There's nothing wrong with stopping at the 10 and starting over. The other question I got was, I don't want to get big, I don't want a lot of muscle, I don't want big shoulders. Well, as a woman, we're not built that way. That's just not natural. You're not naturally going to lift weights and automatically be big. In many cases, I supplement, not with anything illegal, because I do the natural bodybuilding, but the bigger women that you see do supplement, illegal supplements. I mean, that's the only way to do it. And you have to do other things as well. You have to lift really, really heavy to get really big. There's women that do the natural bodybuilding like I do that still look big, but they're not bulky big. I think they're sleek, they're strong, they're muscular, and the women that and also the people you see in the photos, especially at the shows, that is not how they look every day. Rarely do people walk around like that. There are some that stay that way all the time. Me, during show prep, I was 106 pounds on the stage, 6-pack abs. I was down to 5 or 6% body fat. I'm now at 21%. That show was in November. So you can see that people don't naturally walk around that way. So the stuff that you're seeing when people promote, it's because they had to go through a really rigorous prep to get in that shape. So don't worry about, man, I'm going to get big. You know, don't worry about this sort of thing. Lift as heavy as you can, as light as you can, as comfortable as you can, but you need to always be making progression. So if you're doing a weight and you're not feeling it, you need to go a little heavier because you want to feel kind of tired by the time you get to the 15th set or 15th rep on the second set. You want to feel kind of tired. And you want to feel a little sore. And it's not always, you don't have to feel extremely sore, but you want to feel like you got a little bit of a workout in. So that was kind of the big questions I got this morning. I don't know if you guys have any other questions specifically.
How many times a week do you do this?
You should do it about 3 times a week. You should always be doing some sort of cardio, 30 minutes a day if all possible. We're kind of in a great area. You can go walking for 30 minutes or run out for a quick 10 minutes. Some things, take the stairs here. I mentioned it this morning because it seems like a lot of people didn't notice it through our insurance. You can get $25 and get access to a bunch of gyms, including the Y here. This Y has great equipment. I mean, the gym I work out at has good equipment, but the equipment here is great, and it's got a lot of interesting, some equipment I've never seen before. So it's well worth doing it. But 3 times a week, the point of, you can do more. I do 4 to 5 on my weight training, but you don't want to do 2 days in a row of the same body part because you don't want to over-exaggerate it. You don't want to hurt it. You don't want to fatigue it too much. So if you can do 3 days a week, that's great. If you can't, you can only fit 1 or 2 days. It's okay to do a total body, you know. Do your lunges with your bench presses and with all of that. I mean, it doesn't hurt you to do that. So, any other questions?
Is it important to do some stretching before you do the?
Yes. When I train my clients, I start them off with a stretch because, especially if you're not used to doing it, you want to stretch out some of those key parts. Because I know for myself, a lot of times on shoulder days, if I don't do a good stretch, man, my shoulder's just beating me up because I didn't stretch it. So, you know, do some of the typical stretch. And I'll go over actually some of those in tomorrow's, I think it's tomorrow with some of the desk exercises. I've got some desk exercises that include stretching. But yeah, you definitely want to stretch beforehand. You can stretch a little bit afterwards. And one other thing I didn't mention, if you really want to get into this and do this right, if you're going to do exercise, including cardio, you have to eat. A lot of people starve themselves. And yeah, you might lose a little bit of weight starving yourself, but when your mind's going to snap and you're going to eat a bunch of stuff and it's going to all come back. So you have to eat. I eat 4 to 5 ounces of meat 5 times a day. Now, that's extreme, but I'm saying you have to accommodate for all the calories that you burn with weight and cardio. So don't be afraid to eat. You know, always eat something before you work out because it's going to give you that extra energy. If anything, get what's called a whey isolate, which is just something that you can drink that replenishes the muscles because when you work out, whether it's weight training or cardio, you kind of drain that from you, so you need to replenish it. So if anything, something that you can drink like that is great, but definitely eat your food. I mean, you got to eat food. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. So.
Do you have that in a PDF that you can send out?
Yeah, she's going to put it on there. And then the one tomorrow is just like desk stuff, but I cover some other things. I cover a lot of abs tomorrow and ab ball stuff because I know a lot of us aren't going to really exercise at our desk, but there's some things you can do.
Yes, we are.
Okay, we are going to exercise at our desk. So I have some exercises.
HR will be,
Yes.
how about that?
Yeah. So, yeah, so we'll go over that more tomorrow. But yeah, she's got all those. And again, like I said, the links in there to bodybuilding.com, which is really cool, that little exercise, the interactive exercise piece that they've got, goes over just a ton of exercises that you can do. So I would use it. Any questions?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Does it really matter what time you work out?
No.
Okay.
No, I train in show prep, I start my day at 5 in the morning and I'm at the gym 3 hours. And then I come back and work out in the evening. So it does not matter, it's whatever works for you. The point is you just need to do it. So it's just like a meal plan. If someone gives you a bunch of food that you don't like, you're not going to eat it, it does you no good. So I know people that weight train at night, I weight train in the morning. It's totally up to you. It's totally up to you.